We threw a birthday party for our kid. Sent invitations to the block. She handed hers back and said, "We don't associate with people like you." The next morning, my car was keyed and my son's bike was gone. But one kid at the party caught it all on video. What it showed. Her words were just the beginning. We didn't sleep well after the police came. Matt kept pacing the kitchen while I sat with the video on repeat, noticing new things each time. The way Dana stood on her front step like she owned the street. The way her son didn't even hesitate. Like he'd done it before. Like he knew he wouldn't get in trouble. I didn't tell Zach about the video. I told him the police were looking for his bike and left it at that. He didn't seem too upset, probably thought we'd replace it soon. But the truth is, that bike had been a big purchase for us. We'd saved up, bought it secondhand, then repainted it together in the garage. It was his in a way most store-bought things aren't. By Tuesday, we hadn't heard anything from the police. Matt called. They said they were still reviewing the evidence. Wednesday morning, something new happened. Zach came in from school, looking confused. He said, "Mom, do you know what charity case means?" I asked where he heard it. He said, "Mrs. McCarthy's kid told everyone that we only invited people to the party so they'd give us presents. He said you don't work and we're poor." My stomach dropped. I do work. I do freelance bookkeeping from home. And yeah, we're not wealthy, but we're not asking for handouts either. The fact that Zach even had to hear that. I told him not to worry about it. But later that night, after he went to bed, I cried in the bathroom. I hadn't cried in a long time. Something about the way Zach looked when he asked me that, like he wasn't sure if it might be true, that got me. The next day, I walked over to the McCarthy's house. I rang the bell. Dana opened it halfway, arms crossed. "We need to talk," I said. She looked behind me like she was checking to make sure I hadn't brought a lawyer. I said, "Your son stole my kid's bike. You know that. I have the video." She smirked. And she said, "I also heard what you said in the background. Maybe now they'll learn their place. You want to explain that?" She didn't blink. "You moved into this neighborhood like it was owed to you. You don't fit in here." I'm not going to apologize for telling the truth. I didn't say anything. I just stared at her. She added, "And if you're thinking about showing that video around, be careful. People here value privacy. You start trouble, you'll find out just how alone you really are." Then she shut the door. That night, Matt and I talked about moving. But then, something happened I didn't expect. Mia's dad, the one who'd shown us the video, came by again. He looked angry. Said he'd heard from his daughter that Dana had started telling other parents not to let their kids come over to our house. "She's trying to isolate you," he said. "I've seen her do this before. We've been here 5 years. This is what she does when she doesn't like someone." I asked him what we were supposed to do. He said, "You fight back. But smart. Quiet. She wants you to explode, so she can play victim. Don't give her that." I stayed up until 2 a.m. rewatching the video. Then I started digging. And what I found out about the McCarthys made me realize Dana had a lot more to lose than we did. I don't know what I was looking for that night. Maybe just a way to feel less powerless. But once I started digging, I couldn't stop. I searched their names. Dana and Ryan McCarthy. Ryan popped up first. He was listed as an executive at a mid-sized construction company 2 towns over. Public records showed he owned the house, but something odd caught my eye. There had been a lien on the property 3 years ago. Then another one cleared just a year before we moved in. That didn't prove anything, but it hinted at something. Dana had less of a digital footprint. But through a Facebook group for local moms, one she had recently left, I found old posts. One from over a year ago caught my attention. It was from another mom, no name, just initials. She'd written, "Does anyone know what to do when a neighbor's kid keeps messing with your property and the parents act like they don't see it? We're new here. It's like we're being iced out on purpose." There were no replies. I messaged the admin of the group. Told her I had reason to believe the post was about Dana McCarthy. She didn't respond at first. The next morning I got a message back. It was short. "You're not the first. She did the same thing to us in 2019. We moved. So that was her pattern. Welcome the right families, freeze out the wrong ones. Humiliate them. Push them out. I wasn't going to let her do it to us. That afternoon, I made a copy of the video, the whole thing, not just the bike part. I burned it to a USB and mailed it to the principal of the local elementary school. No note. Just the footage. The school couldn't ignore a kid stealing and a parent verbally encouraging it. Then I called a local reporter I'd met once at a community garden meeting. Told her I had something she might want to see. Something about how a model family was behaving behind the scenes. I didn't name names yet. Just asked if she'd meet me. She agreed. I sent the video. She didn't call back right away. The next morning, a different kind of knock came to the door. It was Ryan McCarthy. He didn't look angry. He looked tired. He asked if Matt was home. I called Matt to the door. Then Ryan said, "Look, I don't know what Dana said or did, but I saw the video. I want to make this right." Matt stared at him. "You knew about the bike?" Ryan nodded, slowly. "I didn't. But when I watched it, yeah. That's our kid. And that's my wife's voice." He handed over an envelope. Inside was $400 cash. "For the car," he said. "And the bike. And, I don't know. For whatever this has done to you." "We didn't take the money," Matt said. "Tell your wife to keep our names out of her mouth. And tell your kid to stay away from mine." Ryan didn't argue. Just walked back across the street. But later that night, around 10 p.m., we heard shouting from their house. Then a car starting. Then nothing. The next morning, Dana's SUV was gone. It hasn't come back since. And 2 days later, I got a message from the reporter. She said, "I'm running this. It's bigger than you think." That's when I found out the story had spread, and what Dana's kid had really done after taking Zach's bike wasn't even the worst of it. The reporter didn't just air the video. She dug deeper. Turns out Dana had been at the center of multiple quiet disputes in the neighborhood. Always unofficial. Always under the radar. But when the video surfaced, 3 other families came forward, anonymously at first, to share what they'd gone through. One family had their dog poisoned. Another's teen daughter was harassed online with fake accounts that led back to Dana's IP. A third said their mailbox was smashed twice after declining to donate to a fundraiser Dana had organized. But what made this explode wasn't Dana. It was her son. The one who stole Zach's bike? He hadn't just taken it. A few days after the party, he and a friend had recorded themselves customizing it, spray painting over Zach's name, mocking it, saying things like, "Trash deserves trash," and laughing. They uploaded it to a private TikTok, where only their school friends could see. But kids talk. One of them shared it. It made its way back to the school. The principal called us in and showed us. I thought I was prepared after everything we'd already seen, but watching 2 boys, who couldn't have been older than 10, talk about ruining the charity kid's bike, like it was a joke, I felt something go cold in my chest. Zach was sitting in the hallway with a teacher when we came out. I wanted to shield him from everything, but part of me knew he already understood more than we gave him credit for. The school suspended both boys. Quietly. No announcement. Just disciplinary action. The McCarthys pulled their kids out the next day. And Dana? She still hadn't returned home. A neighbor said she'd gone to stay with her sister out in Illinois. Until things calmed down, apparently. That night, Matt and I sat in the kitchen, staring at the table. Not celebrating. Just sitting in the silence that comes after something breaks and you're not sure if it's better now, or just broken differently. Then the mail came. Mixed in with the flyers and bills was a small envelope with no return address. Inside was a handwritten note, one line. "I warned you not to start trouble." Underneath, it was a photo, printed from a phone. It was a picture of Zach, walking home from school. Alone. We moved 2 weeks later. Not because we were scared, but because we were tired. Tired of always looking over our shoulders, of pretending we weren't afraid. Zach never asked why. He just helped pack like he knew this place was never really ours. And sometimes I still wonder if that note was real, or just Dana's last attempt to remind us we never belonged here. But what keeps me up at night isn't her voice, or the bike, or even the scratch down the side of my car. It's the way Zach looked at me after it all, like he'd stopped waiting for the world to be fair.